Hi, many scientists. You are now at your part 2 video. If you have not watched a part 1, please go back and re-watch your video. Now, if you're wondering why I have Batman on here, I'm wondering the exact same thing because I am not a DC fan. But Batman does invade Gotham in a certain type of way. Hint, hint. We are talking about invasion still. So we will still look at the impact of introduced or invasive species on an ecosystem. We're going to do a quick check for understanding. Okay, good. You have remembered that an invasive species is usually a species that is added to an area where it's not usually found in. Now, here's a picture of another invasive species, the cane toad in Australia. The toad isn't the most attractive, and I bet you're wondering, what can this little bitty toad do that will cause it to be an invasive species? But here's an image of a woman holding toads, and if you look really closely at her hands, the toads are doing some damage to her hands. Now, I want you to remember, an invasive species might not always be an animal. Fun fact of the day, an invasive species can also be a plant or any other type of organism. Invasive species are organisms that come into a new ecosystem and disrupt the balance of the organisms that already live there. Now back to our cane toad. The cane toad is native to parts of South America, Central America, Mexico, and southern Texas. Cane toads, how did they arrive? For Australia, the grim story began in the sugarcane plantations of Puerto Rico, which had imported giant toads from South America to eat the insects that were devouring the sugarcane plants. Word spread of the successes of these bug-catching amphibians, and by the 1930s, the cane toads were being sent around the world. In 1935, 101 toads arrived in North Queensland and in areas including Cairns and Innisfail, before being bred in captivity. They were released to hunt and kill cane-destroying insects on Australia's northeast coast. Now, we're going to eventually get into a video, but before we get to the video, I want you to look at this food web. So, we have the cane toad food web. We can see that the sugarcane plants were being eaten by a snail and the weevil. So, they were already destroying the sugarcane plants. Now, remember, the cane toads were placed into these areas to help eat the snail and the weevil. So by looking at this food web, what else did the cane toads eat? Okay, you should have noticed that the cane toads eat also grasshoppers, beetles, and mouse. So it seems like they're eating a lot of organisms. Now, with them eating all the organisms, what happens to our ecosystem? Is it healthy and balanced, or is it unhealthy and unbalanced? Okay, we will now watch a video about invasive species. You're going to click on the link that is provided in the notes section for you. Do not skip over the video because you will be lost, because you will be asked questions on this video once you return. Please make sure you're following along with the video and return back to your Ed puzzle to complete your work that you have completed. Now, and just in case you think, we should send the Florida pythons to Australia to eat the cane toads. Now, this is a simulation you have seen before. It has our mushrooms, our plants, our rabbits, and our wolves. Now, how would this ecosystem be affected if cane toads were placed here? Remember, cane toads eat mice, so they probably eat rabbits as well. So what will eventually happen to the wolves? They would die because they have nothing to eat. I know you're asking, why can't the foxes just eat the cane toads? Well, the video just informed us that the cane toads are poisonous, so they have poison in their glands. So when the foxes try to eat them, they will die. Okay, great job, many scientists. You will return back to your Google Slides and complete your exit ticket. Please remember to reach out if you have any questions or concerns. I am here to help you. Have a good rest of the week.